A murder, several tax evaders and the loss of the management of one of Italy's most powerful brands, valued at $15.6 billion. Above other Italian brands such as Ferrari, a story full of drama, luxury and catwalks. Success Story takes great pleasure in telling you the fascinating story of Gucci, full of lessons in business and entrepreneurship. A young man named Guccio Gucci was born in 1881 in Florence, Italy. In 1898 Guccio left his native Florence with the intention of finding work abroad, and that's how he got a job at the Savoy Hotel in London, where he got to know the cosmopolitan culture, sophistication and luxury items he saw in the hotel's clients. In 1905 he decided to return to Italy and began selling leather riding goods such as saddles, stirrups and saddlebags. To fulfill his dream, full of inspiration from that wonderful city full of elegance, he decided to return to Italy. In 1921 Guccio opened a small leather goods store in Florence after working as an apprentice in a Franzi house. The key to his success was due to the good leather craftsmanship, excellent finishes and materials. As mentioned, Guccio started out making items for horseback riding, but due to the rise of automobiles the demand for such products decreased, which caused Guccio to expand his business to accessories such as handbags, shoes or travel items such as trunks. Later, with the help of his three sons Aldo, Vasco, and Rodolfo, he began the expansion of the company by opening stores in Rome and Milan, although at that time Italy was under a fascist dictatorship and the supply of materials such as leather was limited, and this worsened with World War II. This fact made the house explore with new atypical materials such as linen, jute and bamboo, and in 1947 they created the first bag with bamboo handle and zipper and with calfskin in response to the shortage of raw materials. Later it was Grace Kelly or Princess Diana who also carried it, making it an iconic bag and a reference for Gucci. Subsequent creative directors have continued to reissue it as they are aware of the important weight it has in the brand's legacy. After the end of World War II, the company began its internationalization. In 1953 Aldo opened a branch in New York. That same year Guccio passed away, leaving his three sons in charge of the family business, who were responsible for exporting from Italy to the world and turning the company into an international success. That year they launched one of their most innovative products, the Jover Gucci moccasins. It was initially conceived for men, but due to its success it was also extended to the women's line. Since its creation, countless well-known names have worn them and they have become another of the iconic products of the house. As a note, the horsebit is the metallic piece formed by two rings and a bar that is located at the top of the moccasin. The romance between Gucci, the jet set and Hollywood stars began in the 50s and continued in the 60s. Everyone fell in love with the Italian brand. It is said that Princess Grace visited, together with Prince Rainier, the Gucci store in Milan and bought one of its bamboo bags. Gucci products began to become cult items. Despite their success, Aldo and Rodolfo continually clashed, as did their sons later. At the end of the 1970s, Paolo left the company and, without the authorization of the parent company, launched his own brand using the Gucci name. That move led him to be sanctioned and then excluded from the house. Gucci then became a joint stock company, and in 1983, when Rodolfo, who held half of the shares, died, his son Maurizio started a legal battle against his uncle Aldo to control the company, something he finally succeeded in doing. In 1986, at the age of 81, Aldo Gucci was arrested for tax evasion in the United States. Taking a step back in time, in 1970 Maurizio met Patricia Reggiani at a party. He married her 2 years later, despite the opposition of his father, Rodolfo, who did not even go to the wedding, convinced that his son had fallen into the nets of a social climber. With Patricia Reggiani, with whom he had 2 daughters, Alessandra and Allegri, the marriage, in fact, ended 12 years later. Although the divorce only came much later, in 1995. In the meantime, Patricia Reggiani began to call herself Patricia Gucci and to become famous as Lady Gucci. This created homonymity problems with her cousin Paolo Gucci's daughter, Patricia. That same year Maurizio, already separated from Patricia, found a new partner, Paola Franchi, with whom he began to live together. 2 years later, on March 27, 1995, Maurizio Gucci was found dead in one of the corridors at the entrance of his office. It took 2 years to discover that the murder had been committed by his ex-wife, Patricia Reggiani, who had hired a gang of criminals to shoot him, to take revenge and to avoid marrying his new girlfriend, thus saving his estate. For this crime Reggiani was sentenced to 26 years in prison, of which she served only 18, leaving prison in 2016 for good behavior. At 72, Patricia Reggiani still feels like Patricia Gucci and, very attentive to fashion, always leaves her house very well-groomed, accompanied by a chauffeur. After that terrible drama, today at the center of Ridley Scott's film, Maurizio and Patricia Reggiani's daughters, Alessandra and Allegra, chose to keep a low profile. A great-grandson of the head of the dynasty, also named Guccio Gucci, tried to work in the fashion world, created a brand called To Be G, but was eventually arrested for fraud and bankruptcy in Florence, in September 2014. In recent months also became known Drusilla Gucci, Roberto's granddaughter, who participated in the TV show The Island of the Famous. Finally, the real Patricia Gucci, daughter of Paolo, in 2015 wrote an autobiographical book entitled Gucci, the true story of a successful dynasty told by a real Gucci. If there is any doubt, Gucci's trajectory has been a story full of drama, deceit, luxury, wealth, and glamour. There is a film in the cinema telling this end of the story. Being Invascorp and currently Alessandro Michele in charge of the Italian brand's operations, remember that it all started with the passion of a young man to create his own brand. We hope this video was useful for you. This was the history of Gucci. Thanks for watching.